I hope everything's going well with you amid these crazy times. Sometimes we forget about how important it is to connect with others due to the technology, but also how life doesn't happen in a vacuum. How it's not all technology, but not everything is just in person. After COVID-19, everything changed for the world and ourselves as researchers, faculty, graduate students, people in general, human beings. But also, as professors, I think we have a more changing role in society now than more than ever. Academia is changing, our life is changing, the climate's changing, politics are changing. Now in 2025, we have to rethink our ways and how we make, with our knowledge, our society more resilient, more solidarity to each other, but also how to engage people with the source that will allow them to make the best decisions for themselves. So I was checking this quote the other day, and it really caught my eye, and it was really engaging. And it says, "Very careful to be distracted again. You have many dreams to accomplish, not people to impress." Public engagement for science communication, it means creating different strategies, different activities to approach the public of non-scientific audiences about our research projects and different topics that are circulating that could be from public interest, such as policies, laws, geopolitical issues, health, but also the changing scenario of the world and the life that affects all of us, and every single little change, how we can understand it in a better way. Let's be honest here. What we are critique as academics is always making lecture-like events on campuses. At times nobody can get to campus, at places that are not accessible and can be also intimidating for people that are not academics. Auditorium or your classroom is not an open space to everybody, even if you want to, because not everybody is a student. Not everybody lives close to your campus. Sometimes a little bit of uncomfort or finding going yourself to those places could be a really effective strategy for engagement. There's two ways to understand public engagement in science. There's online engagement and there's in-person offline engagement. And there have been very interesting approaches specifically to offline engagement of how to organize events, activities to reach out for the community. The science cafes are activities or events that happen always outside campus. Usually, what a research group or a researcher can do is partner up with local businesses. So it's also a way of helping mobilize and grow the local economy. Here I want to invite you to be mindful of how you can do this and also take a leap into grassroots activities that really help the small businesses, the communities, the mom and pop shops that are in every single city of the world. You can choose any particular venue that's a franchise or something like that, but if you can choose also to partner up with a small business, that could be great also for helping the small business to grow. If you have some funding for outreach, why not organizing a science cafe? So what's the structure of a science cafe? If we look in the video next to me, we will check here, we will check here how it's usually the setting, right? I will argue that the best way to do it is think about having a partnership for consuming something. So you can charge for the tickets or make it for free or RSVP the space. And also can be a strategy for crowdfunding funds for your topic of your research in an affordable way, of course. If you choose not to charge, I highly recommend you to partner up with the coffee shop. Also, if you can budget a little bit, for example, the coffee is for free, but the pastries or anything you consume is on your own. But you come and discuss astrophysics or politics or ethics or gender. And try to organize the event in a way that's not always like a lecture-like situation. So for example, you can open the discussion with a pitch about your project and why this is impacting the life of people, and sitting down with people and circulating around tables with a microphone or circulating around different groups with a particular activity, such as Mentimeter or mapping out ideas or scanning a QR code and putting ideas to discuss and show them in on a screen, but in a very short, organized way that's not falling always kind of like in a classroom. People want to engage and talk to you about what their lives are hurting sometimes, and questions they cannot answer for themselves, like, I saw this on the news and I don't know what this means. Can you explain it to me? Also, conceptualize the event. If it's something such as, I don't know, the laws and the environment, can we have something green or some green plants, or organize the decor around that day so people feel like there's a conceptual scenario, but also that they can come in mind of what is the topic is going to be the discussion about. Have several moderators. If you're a faculty member or you are a researcher and you have a research group, you can bring your research group with you, and being able to organize these mini discussion groups or sit around in different tables to interact with people. So I highly recommend to break down this paradigm of the podium and everybody in front. Maybe the person that's talking sits in one table and the other one in another table with the people that's coming, and introduces themselves like, hey, I'm Professor this and that. What's your name? What's your name? What are you doing? Or already organize the seating in a way around the topics of interest. You can write a Google form or a Microsoft form for people to sign up, and kind of like what are catering already the interest around, so people will kind of match out each other to have a better interaction of what they want to ask particularly. Have also questions that are provoking to respond, or set with the samples of the message box we have been learning and the elevator pitch of how you've ever experienced something like not being able to move in traffic for more than 15 minutes. Do you know what this happens? It's maybe the organization of the city, is the policy of not having a specific traffic way the traffic moves, or the policies of how people commute, or all of that. This happens because of that. So try to frame the discussions using the tools that we already seen in episode 1, 2, and 3. So have these provoking conversations. Also have spaces to enjoy. Maybe if you can bring somebody with music, or a craft section where people can post their ideas in a wall, such as the one that I'm gonna show you here that I found in Pennsylvania when I went to the Museum of the Quakers. So people can leave their ideas, but also allow you as a researcher to map out and create a community of engaging topics of people that's already interested in what you're doing. And whenever you want to do a community-based project, you can partner up with them independently or in a group. I will also think about how to facilitate the engagement of this group. Can they sign up for a club? Will these sessions will have eventually monthly, bi-monthly, every other time? Can you make these events like a gypsy event that goes from cafe to cafe to cafe around different areas, and also promoting local partnerships with other places? So you don't have to organize every single thing, but mostly in logistics. For example, look for a place that's accessible in parking. Look for a place that the prices are not too expensive. Look for a place that needs support to bring people on a specific day, for example, but also days and times that are convenient for your community or the target audience that you have. So a science cafe could be a really good option for public engagement if you organize it well. Another great option are the book clubs. So book clubs, mostly we might have this idea that a book club is for ladies that have all this time to sit down and have wine and read books. But no, actually book clubs or reading clubs could be around papers, could be around research pieces, or also if you're doing a book about an engaging topic, try to frame those chapters in a way that speak to specific phenomena historically, personal stories, stories that people have left in different ways, and how those can connect to the reality of your research, but also how your readings and how your literature connects to these other topics and ways to think about differently. So you can make these meetings also periodically. You can make these meetings online, but also use a thematic topic. So sign up for our reading groups online and then do it in person. Do it in a park. Find out a library or a book shop that's available to you. So think about different options that could be engaging, as well as making events that work out for your community and your target audience in a way that the book becomes useful besides being a great piece of literature. But you have to think about your target audience and how to make them comfortable. Or is it gonna be online so everybody can attend from, for example, through a live stream on Instagram? That could be really fun and engaging, but also in a way that happens in a safe space if the topic is too sensitive and people don't want to show up in person. You can think about different ways and cater towards those discussions. Always procure that the book club is interactive. So you can make discussion topics around each chapter or each section, and also make it a periodic meeting when people can show up and think about different implications of how they felt when they read this, for what that can be useful for, with who they can connect them around, and how those phenomena could be interpreted, but also put in practice in real ways. As researchers, we have to think about that our role in society is also providing knowledge, educating, helping the community to make sense around what's happening with tools, methods, literature, but also activities that they can execute on their own. So empowerment is key. Doesn't matter if it's a science cafe, doesn't matter if it's a book club, all of those are key components in order to change society, but also in how to implement ideas that people can execute on their own. So they are not totally dependable on us, because that will kill our time, right? So how we pass the baton. Remember a couple activities that have been really fun as resources where people can, for example, if they want to learn how to eat healthy, how to do clubs of grocery shopping together. So how you can go with an expert in nutrition and choose well specific products for your needs. So maybe organize once in a while a group that goes together grocery shopping and figures out, hey, these are the things in the labels that you should look out to avoid from specific things. That can happen in a YouTube video, but also person to person, face to face, could be an invaluable resource, such as an education. Plus, it's fun going to do some shopping, not alone, and somebody else. Creating communities actually saves lives, but works to educate, to create tighter bonds, a culture of respect and collaboration that desperately many societies needed. So, what are hobbies that people enjoy? Dancing, collecting things, doing artwork. Why those things cannot be a conduit to communicate science? So the sky here is the limit. What these activities are, for example, doing a coffee party where people goes to dance, have coffee at daytime, but also in a culture of more healthy ways of getting together with a DJ in a club. Why we cannot do science parties? It could be a nerdy thing, like if we fall into the stereotype, but does it need to? No, we're in eras of breaking stereotypes. So how we can crowdfund science is also thinking about public engagement as a means to communicate our research projects, but bringing people together in a positive community that brings knowledge and opportunity to meet others that want to learn the same things about you and possible getting inspired in these difficult days. So when you think about these activities, let's take a look how a coffee party works and how we can overlap this into science. Have an idea of how an activity that's uncommon, that's getting trendy, could be an idea to communicate science to young people. Coffee parties, or make a brunch about science and communicate about something particular with a specific audience. Choose the menu, choose the venue. All the activities could be engaging as well, but think about interactions. So what you can do to make people interact, you can use many things such as the Mentimeter. I'm gonna put in the comment box all the resources that you can find online for free versions in order to make people interact with QR codes or activities and how you can organize these engagement activities. Think about providing a space that also is fun, informational, that allows people to learn something new, but also to engage with each other and learn more about a topic of interest, about public information, but also create a community that's well informed with science. Thank you so much.